Hey, you Stygian dogs. Fan Expo Canada 2025 was this past weekend. It's always a great event, so much fandom to celebrate. Like last year, I attended by myself on Friday and then with my son on Saturday. I like to get there early on the Friday. I head to the South Building where the comic book vendors are, and I just spend a lot of time flipping through the bins before the massive crowds arrive. I didn't really buy that much. I ended up with Savage Sword of Conan number 17. This is the second part of the Worms of the Earth and issue number 43, and this has the second part of Kings of the Night. So both of these are favorite Brand McMorn stories. I bought them for $5 Canadian each. I wasn't too concerned about the quality. I just wanted the stories, but of course I need to get issues number 16 and 42 now. So I'm halfway there. I was disappointed in the lack of Savage Sword offerings in general. There was only one vendor there that had any, so a bit of a disappointment, but the hunt is what makes things fun for the future. So after spending about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours checking out vendors, getting a lay of the land for my visit the next day, and knowing that I was going to leave early for a family commitment, I figured it was time to go say hello to Jim Zub. So again, it was relatively early. He wasn't too busy. I didn't bring anything for him to sign this year. I did have on my mind that maybe I would get him to do a sketch for me. And in the end, I walked away with something pretty darn special. I'll show you that in a minute. But before I share that, as Jim and I were having just a casual chat, catching up, another fan approached and saluted both of us. It's kind of neat. It's an awkward, though fun feeling when someone recognizes me. It was none other than Rick Kohl. Rick is a great guy. He's thoroughly connected with the community, especially the Facebook groups. So here's some that he participates in, and let's shout them out. Mike Williams' comic book art of Conan the Barbarian. Rick also happens to be an admin at Phil Rodriguez's The Conan the Barbarian Collector. He's also part of Jay Johnson's Age of Conan Unchained group. Jay Johnson, how you doing, dog brother? I hope you are well. He's also suggested Andrew Neil Lowry's Conan the Barbarian Tomb of Crom. And Scott T, how are you, dog brother? Scott T, I guess, is the admin or runs the Robert E. Howard Comics and Media News on Facebook. So the three of us had a great time. Jim shared a healthy number of pages from the forthcoming issue number 25 by Alex Horley. All of them without lettering. He did kind of give us some context. It's all stuff that most of you have yet to see. It looks fantastic. You're going to love it. It was a total treat. And then Jim pulled out the Savage Sword of Conan number 10, which releases next week on September the 3rd. He let us flip through that. Doug Braithwaite's work looks great in black and white. And just wait till you see Rob De La Torre's Sailor Steve Costigan story. It's awesome. Jim narrated large swaths of the story as we followed along. It was a fun experience. The issue is going to rock. We got a couple looks at some of the pinups. They're just wicked. And Rick, that guy, he brought along 53 issues to be signed. He had variant covers that I don't think I even knew existed. It was so much fun to look at those. So I let Rick and Jim get down to business, and then I headed towards Nick Marinkovich and Fred Kennedy to get a couple of signatures. Now, what did I get from Jim? Well, I wanted a custom sketch, and he had on hand a custom piece that he illustrated on an issue number 1 sketch cover. So he suggested, why don't I just grab that? So, okay, check this out. I can't even really believe that I have this in my possession. I have to find somewhere pretty special to place it. Pretty wicked, right? So I'm stoked that I actually picked that up. That was a purchase of the weekend for me. So that's great. So then I headed over to Nick Marinkovich and Fred Kennedy, just to pester them to find out when Dead Romans number 2 would finally be complete, because we would like to see Nick Marinkovich do some illustration for Conan the Barbarian or Savage Sword or what have you. So we chatted for a little bit. I did get Nick to sign a couple covers. He signed for me issue number 2. It's the cover that has Brissa, Battle of the Black Stone. And then he also signed I think this is awesome, the Solomon Kane issue number 3. I'll make sure you can see these a little bit closer up. So that was awesome. They let me know that, they are almost done working on Dead Romans, the second part of Dead Romans. So I'm excited to see that. That will come out in individual issues before coming out in a collection. And then I spoke with Fred Kennedy, and I got him to sign for me the Battle of the Black Stone number. What is that? I always forget It's the Savage Sword of Conan, Battle of the Blackstone, number 4. He has, of course, the Dark Agnes story in there, Fred Kennedy. So he signed that cover for me. And then he signed issue number 8 of the Savage Sword of Conan. He has his great Conan story in there. Again, as far as anthology collections go, this issue, I mean, it's just so good. I think it's my second favorite after the Roy Thomas, Rob DeLatorre number 7. I should also mention that Nick Marinkovich gave a sneak peek of a forthcoming Scourge of the Serpent cover. That looks wonderful, and also a pinup that will appear in the Savage Sword of Conan. I mean, I can't give any spoilers. Everything looks so good. This one, I feel like it might have been shared somewhere. I feel like I'd seen it before, but maybe it was just something I was dreaming of, because it is a character that I love very much. So I'm looking forward to that. So thanks to Nick for giving us those sneak peeks. So that was fantastic. Got updates from them, joked around a bit, very casual conversation. And then next on my list was a visit with Dan Parent. I visit Dan every year. My daughter is a huge Archie fan. So she's like, Daddy, can you please grab something for me from Dan? So I grabbed this fantastic Vampirella homage for my daughter. She likes it. It's awesome. And then I just had to grab this Red Sonja cover that he did. It's great too. It's going to go well with what I purchased last year, which was that Conan and the Girls sketch. I'm stoked to have that, and it'll also be a good companion piece for the Conan the Barbarian cover, where you have Conan done by Dan Parent with the 2 women beside him. So I'm very happy to have that signed. And then, I mean, that was pretty much the day. I did a little bit more roaming around. I bumped into a couple of friends there, and then I did bump into Rick again, and we had a long conversation. He had to take off to leave early and hit the traffic. I departed fairly early too, but it was a satisfying kind of low-key visit that first day. I knew the second day, Saturdays are always, they're really intense. So I kind of knew what I wanted to see on Saturday, knew what I wanted to direct my son towards. I guess just a little bit of spy work on the Saturday, but it was a very gratifying day. Rick, so awesome to meet you. I hope to chat with you more in the future. I think that was it for day 1. If anything else pops up, I'll include it as we move on to day 2. Now, day 2, got there even earlier. No problem checking in. Brought my son. We did a tour of the North Building. So the North Building is where all of the I guess where you get the autographs and the celebrity, photo ops, that sort of thing. They're just a whack of retailers, vendors there as well. So we did a really long stroll through there, kind of checked out all the merchandise. I did buy some Lego, in quotation mark, minifigs. These are awesome. I was really happy with these. And then I also happened to buy 2 packs of Conan cards. So I'll open those in a different video so we can check them out together. I actually don't have any of these. I know lots of you do. So we'll open those together and check them out. Yeah, this is them. These are the Conan Chromium cards. You've seen them around. I'm eager to see what they look like. We'll open them together. I do know they have the non-chromium ones. They would be fun to look at too. Am I committing some profane sin by opening them? Should they be forever preserved in this packaging? I don't fully know. I don't really care. I think it's more fun to see what's on the inside, and we can have a surprise together. So I'll open those in a future video, maybe, within the next few days. Had fun. Kept reminding my son that if he wanted to purchase anything now is the time to do it, because when you leave that North Building to go to the South Building where, all the comic artists are and things like that, you can't guarantee that you are going to happily return to the North Building. Now, we did later on, and I'll get to that. But yeah, you kind of have to be careful. You really have to plan where things go. You really have to be patient. So we walked around there, saw some interesting things. He's always interested in Dungeons and Dragons. I don't think he procured anything there, but whatever. We had fun. It was a laugh. Of course, you're looking at all the cosplayers. It's a good time. We go to the South Building. We walked around there, looked at some vendors. He did want to go talk to Jim a little bit. He's a fan of Dungeons and Dragons, as I just said. So he did pick up a collection of Jim's Dungeons and Dragons stuff and had Jim sign it. Thanks, Jim. Always great to see you. And then we just kind of walked around from there. There wasn't a lot programming wise that we wanted to see this year. It was just a bit of different year in that regard. But William Shatner was there. So he said, Daddy, I know you want to see William Shatner. Why don't we line up and go see William Shatner? So then we're in that south building. You have to double back, go to the north building. It's like a 15 or 20 minute journey just to do that. But we did return to the north building, went downstairs to the big theater. I think we arrived maybe an easy 45 minutes before it began. We secured a great place in line, got great seats to see Will Shatner. So that was definitely a triumph. Here's some photos for you. It was great. It was, 94-year-old William Shatner telling stories, reminiscing about his time in Toronto, speaking about Stratford Festival, when he understudied for Christopher Plummer. I think it was 1956. He understudied for Christopher Plummer at Stratford Festival, Henry V. So he had fun stories there. He told fun stories about his apartment. Spoke about meeting his first wife. And just what Toronto was like at that time and the people with whom he was spending time. And the focus on that story, and it was quite meaningful by the end. I mean, he emphasized people's individual stories, that everybody has stories, and that, people's individual stories are quite moving. And, all of us has our own interior lives, our own dreams, our own passions, all these sorts of things. So he was definitely reminiscing and thinking about just, that sort of thing, the human connection. It was a great moment to see him. It was great to give a standing ovation to, come on, he's a freaking legend. So that was a great moment for me. And then after that, my son and I left. We walked everywhere. He was quite impressed with himself. I think we saw more vendors this year than we'd ever had. He had his eye on, swords. He really wanted to buy a version of Sting or maybe the One Ring. He didn't settle on anything, but he did grab a couple items for himself. A couple maps, Skyrim map, a map of Faerun, I guess it is, for Dungeons and Dragons. We saw tons of things. He was kind of making a list for next year. Whatever he was indecisive, he's like, we'll come back next year. So we were really chuffed about that day. Oh, I also did bump into Wordburglar, and I bought a copy of his new graphic novel release. It's basically an illustration of his songs. It's really great. He's such a fine guy. I hope to chat with him in the future. His work is very attainable. I think it can cross generations, but if you're a Gen X guy like me, it definitely speaks to us and our experiences. But I'm really looking forward to checking that out in more detail and digging in deep to that. So that was awesome. I'll see if I forgot anything else that I shared, but it was just a great day. After that, my son and I left. I think it was around 3:30, 3:45. We grabbed a bite to eat, and then I was meeting up with my wife and my daughter later on for the big event, and this was to see KPop Demon Hunters sing along in the theater. It was at the Tiff Bell Lightbox. It was a smaller theater there. I've been there. I went there in the winter for the Sound of Music sing along, which was a fantastic time. So we went to see KPop Demon Hunters in this smallish theater. It was awesome. This was my daughter's 10th time seeing it. I've kind of paid attention to it being on TV, but I'm usually reading or something. So I think this was the first time I fully attended to it. But it was a blast. Everybody had fun. So you can't deny being in a theater experience with people that just want to be there for fun and to participate. It was a really wholesome kind of thing. So all in all, it was just a great family day for me. I always recommend Fan Expo. Adding this to the end of it, and I'll show you a clip at the end of the video of the crowd dancing and singing along. Just a tremendous day. Go to Fan Expo Canada. It's a great time. You'll be surrounded by, just a heck of a variety of characters. Everybody just having fun. It's a little bit wacky. It's definitely silly. It's wild. It's reifying. You'll feel better about the community around you. You'll know that you're participating in something bigger than yourself. Everybody's interested in their own thing. Everybody, just wants to have a good time and share things with each other. So if you go with an open mind and celebrate, I guarantee that you will have a blast at Fan Expo. All in all, a fantastic time. I got some goodies. I spent a little bit too much money, but hey, life is short. Thanks for watching, liking, consider subscribing, and until next time, take it easy, you Stygian dogs.
I came to Toronto and I was very poor. I lived in a 5-flight walk-up, and so nobody went up there except me and the mice. Well, it's true. I would get up there late at night, go to sleep on that rope mattress, get up as early as I could, get out, and the mice came and played during the day. And then when I came back to my room, they went under my bed or something. They disappeared. You can't get on the gardener. You got to go up to Eglinton or something or other. It's the darndest thing. There's no plan. We were open about a week and beginning rehearsals for another play when Guthrie comes up to me and says, "Chris is ill. Can you go on?" He didn't know that I had been practicing in my room. I'd sit on the toilet and flush the toilet. Whenever the big, "Once more onto the bridge, dear friends," and I'd flush the toilet. So nobody in the apartment building would hear me. Or they would hear me and say, "Well, Shatner's going to the toilet again." I don't know what it was. Those stories that people tell you that are embedded in them, that they wish to tell, they're there for everybody to talk about. Tell me your story. It doesn't need a microphone. It just needs pure interest.